Welcome back to Naifa Vintage, your go-to destination for everything vintage rustic. Today's video is all about transforming your compact entryway into a charming and budget-friendly vintage rustic haven. Whether you're in a small apartment or a cozy cottage, we've got creative ideas to help you set the perfect first impression. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to join our growing vintage-loving community. A true vintage rustic entryway begins with embracing natural textures. Think reclaimed wood, jute rugs, and woven baskets. These elements bring in warmth and organic charm without stretching your wallet. Use materials that look worn, aged, or imperfectly beautiful. Earthy tones such as warm beige, sage green, deep browns, and creamy whites work best to evoke that vintage rustic vibe. Stick to muted colors to maintain that authentic rustic touch while keeping the space light and airy. Replace boring wall hooks with antique iron or brass ones. You can often find these in flea markets or thrift stores. Functional yet stylish, these add that essential vintage rustic element while organizing your space. Turn a vintage wooden crate into a shoe rack or an old bench into a seating nook. Vintage rustic design thrives on upcycling. It's cost-effective, eco-friendly, and totally charming. Choose lighting fixtures that mimic old lanterns or bulbs with exposed filaments. A vintage rustic entryway glows best under soft, amber lights that highlight the natural textures and cozy tones. A distressed wooden framed mirror not only serves a purpose but also adds visual space and reflects light, perfect for small homes. Mirrors are must-haves in vintage rustic spaces. Don't underestimate the power of a cozy vintage rug or a burlap table runner atop a console table. Textiles help ground the space and introduce tactile interest in your vintage rustic entryway. Compact homes need smart storage. Add vertical wooden shelves above your console table to store keys, plants, and small rustic decor pieces. Keep it minimal but intentional. Look for little treasures, like an old clock, an enamel picture, or even a typewriter, to decorate your space. These small accents inject loads of vintage rustic personality. Organize mail, keys, and daily essentials using rustic wooden or metal trays. Trays corral clutter while adding that vintage market charm. Rustic doesn't mean lifeless. Add a few potted plants or hang dried eucalyptus for a natural, earthy feel. Plants make your vintage rustic entryway feel alive and fresh. Frame old black and white photos, botanical prints, or vintage signage to add art that tells a story. Walls are blank canvases in your vintage rustic vision. Add a personal spin by crafting your own wall hooks, painting signs, or distressing furniture with chalk paint. Budget-friendly and satisfying, DIY adds heart to your space. Rustic doesn't mean messy. Be selective and let your pieces breathe. Aim for balance between practical function and aesthetic charm in your vintage rustic setup. Thanks for watching Naifa Vintage. Your entryway is the first impression of your home, why not make it beautifully vintage rustic? These budget-friendly ideas can turn even the tiniest space into a warm, welcoming retreat. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment below with your favorite idea. Until next time, stay rustic.